This car may look like an old circle track car, but it's so much more. This is Ramo Stott's 1971 NASCAR Hemi Road Runner. And I'll post a picture of it at the end. But what happened was he had this in NASCAR, and when it wasn't, you couldn't use it anymore, it got chopped up slightly, and they put I think a 75 Roadrunner body on it. And I'll post that picture also. And then after that, they put this Volare body on it. But that is an original Nicholson chassis, or I'm sorry, Nichels chassis. Very rare, very cool. When Ramo was cleaning up his shop and selling stuff, my friend rescued it from the scrapyard. And I know it's been on this trailer for at least 20 years. But people argue with me. Like I said, NASCAR vehicles in this era were reskinned constantly. And it's been documented. The era one. Wow, that's a good breeze. Oh, that's not good. The roof's starting to come off. So you guys see that? Oh, I'll tell my friend. But how cool is that? That is the Ramo Stott 1971 NASCAR Hemi Road Runner. And it's rough, but it's, the bones are good. That is just too cool. Fortunately, there are people in this community that really appreciate history, and Doug Schillinger of the Daytona Superbird Auto Club has kept track on the history of this exact car because he owns the predecessor to it, the 70 Hemi Superbird, which I'll show at the end. But this first picture is the car when it was brand new, and this picture is of the car in late 1971 when Ramo was driving it on a short track somewhere in the US. By 1972, the car had been painted green, and I believe this is a J.L. Pickering photo that Doug had. By 1973-74 season, Ramo had updated the sheet metal to the newer 73-74 era Roadrunner outer body panels. And for 1975, he had completely changed the body to a 75 Roadrunner or Plymouth outer shell to make it applicable in other racing circuits. In 1977, Ramo won the ARCA race in February at Daytona with Ron Hutchinson driving. Unfortunately, near the end of the season, with Ken Housby driving, he had a pretty good crash. By 1978, the car had been repaired. It had been slightly shortened and converted into a Volare, as now the 75 Roadrunner was too old to run in different series. So it was fixed up and driven in this picture by Kevin Housby. By 1978, it was being driven by Corey Stott in several races. Unfortunately, it crashed hard on the dirt in Springfield, Illinois. They think a rotor exploded, and after that, basically the car wasn't competitive, so they just parted it out and left it out behind the barn. And after that, there really wasn't any documentation on the car until I came across it in 2003, 2004. That was my first picture back when I first saw it sitting out in my friend's yard. And ever since, he's moved it around his farmyard a little bit here and there. But really, it hasn't changed much other than sitting out in the Illinois weather for the next few decades. Probably not getting any better, not getting any worse, but it still exists, and the bones are good. The Nichels chassis is still there. It could be brought back with the right amount of money, I'm sure. At least the car is safe and secure until it's time to be restored. There's Ramo Stott and his wife at the Monster Mopar St. Louis in his original 70 Hemi Superbird NASCAR, and then here it is going around the track at Atlanta during the Aero Warrior reunion back in 2019. Unfortunately, Ramo has passed since documenting the car, and my thoughts are with him and his family, of course. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video with the Ramo Stott 71 Hemi Road Runner. When I posted about that car on my social media like a year or two ago, people just didn't understand that the chassis was just a tube chassis for the most part in 71, and that they put body panels on it. And through the years, they would change it to be applicable to whatever the rules allowed at that time. That was one of the earliest ones. If you guys remember, the Daytona that set the 200 mile per hour record was also behind Ramo Stott's shop, and people didn't know it was that car because it had 1973 Dodge Charger body panels on it, and has since been fully restored. And I think it just got sold at auction like in the last year or so. So you never know what you're going to find. And this was one of my earliest, if not the earliest, big find I've ever came across back in 2004. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. The owner has started a restoration shop, and I think he's planning on stabilizing the car. I don't know if it's going to have a future anytime soon, but you never know. I'll keep everyone updated. But I'm about to leave for Detroit to finish up Muscle Car and Corvette National Show stuff. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there for 5 days. Hopefully get into some shenanigans and see some friends. But I'll talk to you all soon. Stay safe.